Greetings. This is a continuation of confidence and vanity, but this time we'll just focus more on vanity and get into a little bit of children of vanity or pride babies, whatever you want to call them. But not whatever you want to call them, but whatever you want to call them in terms of babies of pride. Instead of born out of love and trust and true healing and nurturing, a true nurturing environment. Babies that are born out of just lust, temptation, just pretty much like, I can't even find the word for that, but not really cared for, which I'm sure is probably a lot more people than many think, but that's why parents will say about their children their pride and joy. That's the whole vanity thing right there. It's in a sense it kind of is your pride, so to say, just because you birthed them and you brought them forth, but that doesn't mean they're you. They're you in the sense that you created them and you brought them into this existence, but they are not you. So there needs to be not a separation, but there needs to be a distinction. Both your parents' genes and traits are imparted onto you and affect how you live and how you behave and everything. Affect your whole being. How you react to just everything. It affects all of you. And with that in mind, you're still kind of different, but you're one. The parents come together to create the child. But at the same time, the child is the embodiment of the parents, because it's the two energy bodies coming together to create this one new energy body. And that whole process in itself, just describing that, is a beautiful thing. But with the modern world and just look around. As soon as a baby comes out of the womb, they're injected with tons of vaccines and chemicals. Yeah, some people will say they are needed and whatnot, and I'm not here to argue that. But there is active ingredients in there that do affect a baby's chemistry. And the fact that the FDA and I think the CDC, I'm not sure, one of them, doesn't allow you to sue companies that give the vaccine out is it's a little weird to me. It's a little weird. The CDC and the FDA are by no means here to actually safeguard and or regulate public safety. They're here to regulate. That is it. They're not here to... They might add some safe regulations, and sure, they might help to a degree with like certain plants, you can only have so much bug parts per however many, whatever the sizes of the plant matter or whatever. So they do help, and that's crazy in its own that they do allow bug matter to pass through, but I guess that is what it is. Anyway, we're talking about children of vanity and pride. So let's say you get wrapped up in someone's pride. You see someone's body and you're just so attracted by the magnetism, instead of just understanding that it's just magnetism, it's just attraction. That doesn't necessarily mean you have to go to it, or you don't have to react, even though they might be an ideal partner in your mind, or you might have one good night with them or what have you, but at the end of the day, attraction is just attraction. It's nothing really more. So if you get wrapped up in that, and let's say you have a one night stand, and whether you're the female or the male, let's just say you insert your seed, or you allow him to insert his seed, meaning he ejaculates in you, you're pregnant. Or you might be pregnant unless you're part of the birth control plan B and abortion realm. I'm not anti-abortion. I think abortion should be done when needed. And if the birth is gonna hurt the mother, if the mother was raped, if really in the case of true need, in the sense of oh, my boyfriend don't hold the seed, so he knocked me up and now I gotta go. getting aborted. Like that's just negligence. That's just not. And since males aren't informed of this and they don't understand the power of holding the seed and not giving up literally what they create life with, you know, all the males. I could steal. Nah, I won't steal the quote, but there's a good quote on a YouTube channel, and in one of his books called. The name is Collage Zombie. So COLLAGE, might be two E's, and then Zombie, ZOMBEE. And the one, he says one thing, it's stuffed pig sexuality is a weapon, and there's one quote where he says, uh, something along the lines of like, a male gives up his energy, like he eats food that destroys him, he ejaculates and that destroys him, he does all these things that destroy him just to act as if he's not doing so. And I mean, in today's society, that's true. You know, most males are attracted to females that are like their mother and cook food like their mother. And a lot of us don't eat very healthily, so the food is literally breaking our heart, actually. Like, metaphorically and physically. Like, look into red meat and how certain meats affect your heart, and just health overall has been adulterated. But anyway, back to pride. So pride, you get into a relationship, you get pregnant with this person, and yeah, I guess you could have an abortion or plan B and what have you, and that would never be a problem. But then there's no responsibility if it's like that. There's no accountability. Because just look into birth control and the horrors that happen to females after getting off of birth control. I've read numerous accounts it was actually on a Twitter thread where this one woman was talking about all the problems and gave her scientific reasoning and just listed a bunch of reasons. And then people replied, mostly females. One said 2 years out of being on birth control, and I've had 3 miscarriages. Think about it. You're tricking your body to stop a natural process with birth control. It's gonna have repercussions. It's going to. Whether big or small. And it affects everyone differently. I know that. But just be cautious. This is your life you are playing with. If you want to create life, you know, just keep that in mind, because there's certain things in this place that you just are not informed of. But yeah, then the other thing with the pride babies and wanting to have a child out of the sense of like, give them the life I never had, then instead of, you give them what you think they should have instead of what could be. You never know what could be. It's like a script. It's written out, it's planned. And some things in life you do want to plan, but to consistently plan and to measure everything like that and be that meticulous just means death. It'll just bring death, that kind of measurement. You'll be so analytical and planned out that there will be no actual, like, there will be some probably organic things left in your life and spontaneous things, but it will be mainly like destruction, like spontaneous destruction, you know, life and the universe trying to push forth its process of, you know, order than disorder. Because even disorder in certain times when applied right is part of the order and part of keeping everything balanced. But we're just in a state of misbalance right now, just complete and utter it's a bizarre world. It's the best way I could put it. That is kind of the end of that. I don't really have any closing thoughts. But yeah, I mean, in this realm where we're led to believe that like many things don't matter as much as they do, research that. Everything matters. Everything everybody does is important. With that, I will leave you. Be safe.
Male will give off all creative energy in exchange for a brief sense of euphoria, which is nothing in comparison to what would be if the sexual energy was properly refined. All to feel as though he now has value from having had sex with some desirable female. In this case, who are you really giving your value to, you or the female? If you're chasing less desirable womb men, you again have to question your motives for ejaculation. Why do males crave the low energy state? Why is lethargy a state of comfort for most, a male or female? Why is sex deemed an act that drains us of energy instead of expanding our energy? How much is really spent in a lifetime of seeking attraction? A male gives their mind, money, and seed to experience things that destroy him, all to operate as if he's not doing so, as if that's some sign of strength.